1 month after my daughter's wedding, the photographer called me and whispered, "Sir, I noticed something terrible in the photos. Come immediately, alone, and don't say anything to your daughter." The phone rang just as I sat down with my coffee. Tuesday morning, quiet house in Phoenix. Financial report spread across my kitchen table. The kind of peaceful moment I'd earned after 35 years running Thompson's Auto Repair. 3 garages across the valley. Good business, steady customers. I almost didn't answer the unknown number. "Mr. Thompson." The woman's voice shook. "This is Michelle Brown. I photographed Ashley's wedding last month. I need to see you immediately. Alone. Please don't tell your daughter. My name's Carl Thompson. I'm 58, been fixing cars since I was 20, and I thought I knew my family pretty well. Turns out I was wrong about a lot of things." My hand tightened around the phone. "What's wrong?" "I can't explain over the phone, but I found something in the photographs. Something very serious." The air in my kitchen changed. Got thinner somehow. "What kind of something?" "Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., my studio downtown. Please, Mr. Thompson, come alone." Before I could respond, Nicole's voice exploded from upstairs. "Dad! I told you 3 times already. I need money for that certification course. You said you'd think about it today." Marcus's laugh rumbled from my living room, some morning TV show blaring beneath it. "Guy's been living in my house for 4 years, never paid a single dime of rent." "I'll be there," I said into the phone, barely hearing my own voice. "Thank you. I'm so sorry, Mr. Thompson. I really am." She hung up. I sat there holding the phone, staring at the wedding photo on my refrigerator. Ashley in her dress, glowing. Ryan beside her in his tuxedo. 1 month ago. $35,000 I'd spent on that day. Worth every penny to see my oldest daughter happy. Something very serious in the photographs. "Dad." Nicole appeared in my doorway, phone in one hand, Marcus behind her. "Did you hear me? The course starts next week and it's $2,800. I need to register today." I looked at my youngest daughter. 29 years old, living in my house for 4 years now. Moved in after her last relationship ended, said it was temporary. Marcus followed 6 months later. "We'll talk about it later, sweetheart." "Later?" "Dad, I need to register today. Everyone else has jobs and careers, and I'm stuck because I don't have the right certifications." Marcus nodded like he had any right to an opinion. "She's right, Carl. Investment in education always pays off. That's what my dad always said." Marcus's dad. Guy who'd never met me, never helped pay for anything, but somehow had opinions about my money. I said later, Nicole. She huffed and disappeared upstairs. Her footsteps stomped across the ceiling. A door slammed. Marcus shrugged at me like we were buddies, like he wasn't a 31-year-old man living rent-free in my guest room. The day crawled forward. I tried focusing on repair estimates and parts orders, but my mind kept circling back to Michelle's voice. The wedding had been perfect, hadn't it? Ashley had been radiant. Ryan had been attentive, charming all my friends and customers who came to celebrate. What could possibly be wrong with the photographs? Around noon, Marcus wandered into my kitchen without knocking. Never knocked. Just walked in like he owned the place. "Hey, Carl. Nicole's pretty upset about the course thing. Maybe just give her the money. Keep the peace, you know." I didn't look up from my paperwork. I said we'd discuss it later. "Yeah, but she's been planning this for months. And honestly, man, it's not like you can't afford it. 3 garages, this house, no mortgage. Come on. 3 garages, this house, no mortgage. Like he'd studied my finances. Like my money was his business. Marcus, I'm working. Sure, sure. Just saying. Happy girlfriend, happy life, right? He grinned and left. Happy girlfriend. They'd been together 4 years and he still called her his girlfriend. Living in my house, eating my food, using my utilities, but couldn't commit to marriage. I stood and walked to my garage. My workshop. The place where everything made sense. Tools in their proper places, projects lined up, classic Camaro I'd been restoring for 3 years. Clean, organized, purposeful. The afternoon bled into evening. I heated leftover pizza, ate alone while Marcus occupied my recliner and Nicole video called someone upstairs, her voice carrying through the walls. At 7:30, my doorbell rang. Ashley stood on my front step, perfect as always. Tailored blazer, designer jeans, that smile she'd inherited from her mother. My eldest, my successful one. Marketing executive, beautiful apartment in Scottsdale, married to Ryan Cooper, investment banker. Hi, Daddy. She kissed my cheek and walked past me into the house. I was in the neighborhood. Thought I'd stop by. Scottsdale to Phoenix wasn't exactly the neighborhood, but I didn't mention it. She settled onto my couch, crossed her legs, looked around like she was appraising things. How are you? You look tired. Long day. Business stuff. She picked up a framed photo from my side table. Her and Nicole as kids. Studied it. Set it back down slightly off-center. Ryan and I have been house hunting. We found the most incredible place in Paradise Valley. 4 bedrooms, pool, mountain views. Absolutely perfect. I sat across from her, waited. The thing is, we need to move fast. Market's crazy right now. We need help with the down payment. She paused, smiled that warm smile. $40,000. I know it sounds like a lot, but after everything you spent on the wedding, this just completes the picture. Helping us start our life together properly. $40,000. Said like she was asking to borrow my truck. That's a significant amount, Ashley. Dad, we need to move quickly. The market won't wait. I thought you'd want to help us build our future. I looked at my daughter. Really looked at her. The designer clothes, the manicured nails, the practiced warmth that didn't quite reach her eyes. Let me think about it. Her smile faltered. Think about it. Dad, this is important. Ryan and I have been planning this for months. I need to review some things first. She stood quickly. Fine, but don't take too long. We can't lose this house. She grabbed her purse, kissed my cheek again. Colder this time. Love you, Daddy. Call me soon. I watched her BMW pull away. $40,000 delivered like I'd already agreed. Like my money was her money. That night, sleep was impossible. I sat in my garage past midnight, the wedding budget spreadsheet open on my laptop. $35,000 I'd spent. Venue, catering, photographer, flowers, band. Everything Ashley wanted. But she'd insisted on one thing specifically, cash gifts. No registry, no toasters or china patterns. Dad, we're starting fresh. We need flexibility. Cash is more practical. I'd thought she was being mature, practical. Now I wondered what I'd actually paid for. I grabbed a notebook and started writing numbers. The guest list had been 180 people, mostly my customers, my friends, people who'd known Ashley since childhood. Each envelope at the reception. I remembered the gift table overflowing. Ashley had hired someone specifically to collect them, count them. $28,000 in cash and checks. She'd told me the total the week after the wedding, laughing about their good fortune. Ryan and I are so blessed, Dad. Everyone was so generous. I wrote that number down, circled it. Then I remembered something else. My buddy Jerry Martinez had handed Ryan an envelope directly at the reception. "Welcome to the family, son. Start your life right." I'd been standing there. Jerry was generous to people he respected, successful contractor. That envelope had been thick. Ryan had pocketed it and smiled. "Thank you, sir. We won't forget this." The night dragged on. I made coffee around 3 a.m., stood in my kitchen window watching the desert hills. Somewhere in Scottsdale, Ashley slept beside Ryan. 1 month married. Already asking for $40,000. The drive to downtown Phoenix took 30 minutes. Tuesday morning traffic, surface streets to Michelle's studio. A converted warehouse in the Arts District. Her name on a simple sign by the door. I parked across the street, sat in my truck for a moment. Whatever was inside that studio, whatever Michelle had found, it would explain the hollow feeling I'd carried since the wedding. The studio smelled like coffee and photochemicals. Professional photographs lined the walls. Weddings, families, corporate headshots. Michelle met me at the door, younger than I'd remembered from the wedding day. Mid-40s, nervous hands, apologetic eyes. "Mr. Thompson, thank you for coming." She locked the door behind me. "I have everything set up in the editing room." I followed her through the gallery space to a smaller room dominated by a large computer monitor. Wedding portfolios stacked on shelves. Morning light filtered through a high window. "Can I get you coffee?" "I'm fine. Just show me." She sat at her computer. I remained standing behind her chair. "Mr. Thompson, I almost didn't call you. I went back and forth for days, but if I were in your position, I'd want to know." My throat tightened. "Show me." Her fingers moved across the keyboard. The monitor filled with images from Ashley's wedding. The ceremony. My daughter walking down the aisle. Ryan waiting at the altar. Guests smiling. Everything beautiful. "These are the standard shots," Michelle said softly. "What you saw at the wedding, what everyone saw." She clicked to another folder. 2 hours before the ceremony, I was at the venue early, testing equipment, checking lighting setups. Another click. The image appeared. My hands gripped the back of her chair. Ryan, my son-in-law, in his tuxedo, pressed against a woman with auburn hair. Not my daughter. Kissing her. His hands in her hair, her arms around his neck. Not a friendly goodbye. Intimate. Familiar. Possessive. How long before the ceremony? My voice sounded far away. 2 hours. The metadata is here. She pulled up technical information. Numbers, timestamps, location data. I was testing camera settings through a window. Caught this by accident. She clicked forward. Different angles. Same scene. Ryan and the auburn-haired woman. In one photo, the woman's left hand was clearly visible. Wedding ring. Gold band with a diamond. The woman, I leaned closer to the screen. "Do you recognize her?" Michelle shook her head. "I don't know who she is. Not from the guest list." She pulled up another image. This one showed Ryan's face clearly. No confusion, no guilt, just confidence. A man who knew exactly what he was doing. 2 hours before marrying my daughter. I straightened slowly. My knees felt weak. Can you prove the timing? Absolutely. She opened another window, showed me data I barely understood. Digital fingerprints, GPS coordinates matching the venue, timestamps down to the second. This is forensic level evidence, Mr. Thompson. It would hold up anywhere. She reached into her desk drawer, pulled out a small flash drive. Everything's here. All the photos, metadata, technical documentation. I made copies. She held it out to me. I took it, closed my fist around it. Don't apologize, I said. You did the right thing. The drive back to Phoenix passed in a blur. I gripped the steering wheel, stared at the road, but my mind was elsewhere. Ryan Cooper. Investment banker. Polished, articulate, everything I'd wanted for my daughter. Kissing another woman 2 hours before their wedding. A married woman. Why marry Ashley at all? The question circled my thoughts. Why go through with a $35,000 wedding to a woman you were betraying hours before the ceremony? My truck knew the way home. Phoenix streets, my neighborhood, my driveway. The flash drive sat in my pocket, heavy as a stone. I pulled into my garage just after 11. The house looked the same. Same desert landscaping, same everything. But I wasn't the same. I opened the front door. Marcus sprawled across my leather recliner, beer in hand, some talk show blaring. He didn't look up. Hey, Carl. Grab me another beer while you're up. From upstairs, Nicole's voice. Dad, is that you? Did you think about the course money? I really need an answer today. I stood in my own entryway, flash drive in my pocket, and something inside me that had been bending for years finally cracked. Sleep was impossible that night too. I sat in my garage past 1 a.m., the flash drive on my workbench beside my laptop. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those photographs. Ryan's confident face. Not guilty, not confused. Confident. I opened my laptop and pulled up the wedding budget. $35,000 I'd spent. But something else bothered me. The guest list had been mostly my customers, my friends. People who'd known Ashley since she was little. Each one bringing envelopes to the reception. I grabbed my phone and scrolled through contacts. Jerry Martinez answered on the second ring. Carl. Everything okay? It's pretty late. Jerry, quick question. That envelope you gave Ryan at the reception. You mind me asking? The wedding gift? Sure, $5,000. Figured they could use it starting out. Why? $5,000. More than I'd expected, but Jerry was successful, generous with people he liked. Nothing, just curious. Thanks, man. No problem. Ryan's a good kid. You raised a good girl there. After I hung up, I sat staring at my phone. $5,000 from Jerry alone. How many other envelopes had been that generous? My customers, my friends, people who'd been coming to my garages for decades. Thursday evening, I was in my garage working on the Camaro when I heard voices from the backyard. Nicole and Marcus, talking loud enough to carry through the walls. Dad's been acting weird lately, Nicole was saying. Different somehow. Marcus's voice. Yeah, I noticed. But don't worry, babe. We can stretch this another year easy. By then, he'll cave and help us get that condo just to get some space. I froze, wrench in my hand. Nicole laughed. Perfect. Ashley's got him wrapped around her finger anyway. Between her asking for house money and us staying here, he's got nowhere to run. Smart sisters, Marcus said. Play the long game. He's got way more money than he spends. That garage business pulls in serious cash. My hand found the workbench, steadied myself. Ashley says Ryan's already talking to lawyers about the gift money. Apparently in Arizona, wedding gifts go to both spouses. So even if they divorce later, she gets half of everything people gave them. Divorce later. Even if they divorce later. I backed away from the window, silent, careful. Each step measured until I reached the side door of my garage. Closed it quietly behind me. Ashley knew about the affair. Had to know. This whole wedding was a business transaction. Friday morning, I called in sick to work for the first time in 5 years. Instead, I drove to downtown Phoenix. Scott Wilson's law office, 15th floor of a glass building. I'd found him online, 20 years experience, family law, asset protection. His office overlooked the valley. Mahogany desk, law books, diplomas on the walls. Wilson stood as I entered. 50s, professional handshake, direct eyes. Mr. Thompson, thank you for coming. Your message mentioned urgent family matters and asset protection. I placed the flash drive on his desk, along with a folder I'd prepared. Wedding budget, bank records, timeline I'd written out. 3 weeks ago, I paid for my daughter's wedding. $35,000. Yesterday, I discovered her husband was having an affair 2 hours before the ceremony. Today, I learned the marriage might be a scam to collect gift money. Wilson's pen paused over his legal pad. When you say scam, you have evidence of premeditation? I overheard my other daughter talking about divorce lawyers and splitting gift money. Quote, even if they divorce later, she gets half. Those were her exact words. I slid the flash drive across his desk. The affair photos are here. Timestamps, GPS data, everything. Wilson inserted the drive into his computer, reviewed the images. His expression didn't change, but his jaw tightened. And your other daughter? Living in my house 4 years. No rent, no lease. Constantly asking for money. Yesterday I heard her planning to stretch it another year until I buy them a condo. Wilson made notes, circled specific details. Mr. Thompson, in Arizona, property law is clear. Your house, your rules. If there's no rental agreement, you can begin eviction proceedings with 30 days written notice. And my assets? My business? I don't want them getting anything when I'm gone. That's where an irrevocable trust becomes valuable. We transfer your assets to professional management. You maintain control during your lifetime, but after death, distribution follows your exact instructions. Much harder to challenge than a simple will. Something loosened in my chest. How soon can we start? Today. I'll need you to sign an engagement agreement. For eviction notices, asset protection, and complete trust creation, my fee is $12,000. But given what you're facing, it's worth every penny. I'd spent $35,000 on a fake wedding. Another $28,000 had been collected by my daughter and her accomplice husband. Tens of thousands more over 4 years supporting Nicole and Marcus. Do it. 2 hours later, I left with copies of everything. Eviction notices would be ready Monday. Trust creation would begin immediately. For the first time in weeks, I felt like I was taking control instead of being controlled. That weekend, I watched my family with new eyes. Marcus sprawled on my furniture, Nicole demanding money for various schemes, both of them comfortable in my house like permanent residents. Monday morning, the legal documents arrived. 2 envelopes, official seals, Wilson's return address. I set them on my kitchen table and looked at them for most of the day. By evening, I was ready. Nicole and Marcus were on the couch, talking about their latest plan. Some online business that needed startup money. The profit margins are incredible, Marcus was explaining. We just need $8,000 to get started. Your dad would see returns within 6 months. Nicole nodded enthusiastically. He'll do it. He always does. Just frame it as helping family. I stepped into the living room. They looked up, smiling, expecting nothing different. I placed the envelopes on the coffee table between them. What's this? Nicole picked up hers, confused. Official eviction notice. You have 30 days to find other housing. The words landed like stones in still water. Nicole tore open her envelope, read the legal heading. Her face drained of color. Marcus grabbed his copy, scanned it. Have you lost your mind, old man? This is our home. This is my house. Your guests who've overstayed by about 3 years and 11 months. Marcus stood, stepped toward me. Old intimidation tactic. You can't just throw us out. We're family. The notice is legal. 30 days. Nicole's tears started on schedule. Dad, what are you doing? I'm your daughter. How can you throw me out? I looked at her calmly. You haven't paid rent in 4 years. You don't respect this house or me. Time to grow up. This is insane. Marcus moved closer. Everyone will know what kind of father you are. Throwing out your own kid. I turned toward the hallway. 30 days. I suggest you start packing. Behind me, chaos erupted. Nicole wailing, Marcus shouting, furniture scraping. I walked to my garage and closed the door with a satisfying click. The next 30 days became a masterclass in manipulation tactics. Tears, threats, bargaining, fake medical emergencies. Nicole suddenly had chest pains that required expensive tests. Marcus claimed job interviews that needed new clothes money. Ashley called twice, demanding to know why I was destroying the family. I didn't tell her about the photos yet. Wanted to see how far she'd push. Dad, you're making a huge mistake. Nicole needs stability right now. And $40,000 for our house isn't unreasonable after everything we've been through. Everything we've been through. Like the wedding was some shared hardship instead of her calculated payday. Day 25, I found my coffee maker accidentally broken on the kitchen floor. Marcus shrugged when I discovered it. Things happen when people are stressed. Day 28, I came home to find strangers in my living room. Nicole had invited potential roommates to see the house. Just in case you change your mind, Dad. Day 30 arrived gray and quiet. I'd arranged for the sheriff to be present at 10 a.m., just in case. Wilson arrived first, briefcase in hand, everything official and legal. Deputy Sarah Martinez met us at the door. Professional, experienced, no nonsense. Mr. Thompson, let's get this handled. We knocked. 3 firm knocks on my own front door. Silence, then scrambling sounds inside. Sheriff's Department. Open up or we open it ourselves. Nicole appeared, red-eyed but defiant. You can't do this. This is my home. Martinez stepped forward. Ma'am, this is Mr. Thompson's property. You've had 30 days' notice. Time to go. What followed was 2 hours of chaos. Nicole frantically stuffing clothes into garbage bags, crying intermittently. Marcus throwing things into duffel bags, muttering threats. Both of them acting like victims of some terrible injustice instead of adults who'd refused to pay rent for 4 years. At noon, they carried their last bags to Marcus's beat-up Honda. Nicole turned at the car for one final attempt. "You'll regret this. When you're old and need help, don't come crying to us." I met her eyes, steady and certain. "I won't." They drove away, taking their drama and demands with them. I stood in my doorway, my house truly mine for the first time in 4 years. That evening, my phone rang. "Ashley. Dad, I heard about Nicole. Have you completely lost your mind? She's your daughter. She's an adult who needed to learn responsibility. This is insane. And what about our house down payment? We found the perfect place, but we need to move fast." I looked around my quiet living room. My chairs, my space, my peace. "Ashley, I need to tell you something. I have photographs of Ryan with another woman. Taken 2 hours before your wedding." Silence. Long enough to hear her breathing change. "I don't know what you think you saw, but..." Forensic timestamps. GPS coordinates. It would hold up in any court. More silence. Then her voice, colder than I'd ever heard it. "What do you want?" "I want the truth. Was your marriage real, or was it a business transaction to collect gift money? You're paranoid. Ryan and I love each other. Ashley, I know about the joint account opened 6 weeks before the wedding. I know about the divorce lawyers. I know about splitting the gift money." The line went quiet for so long I thought she'd hung up. "Dad." Her voice cracked slightly. "It's complicated." "It's not complicated. It's fraud. You don't understand. Ryan and I, we have an arrangement. It works for both of us." "An arrangement?" "My daughter's marriage was an arrangement. I've created an irrevocable trust, Ashley. My house, my business, everything is protected. You'll get the legal minimum when I'm gone. Nothing more. You can't do this. I'm your daughter. You're a stranger who happens to share my DNA. Don't contact me again." I hung up and turned off my phone. 2 weeks later, I got a letter from a lawyer Ashley had hired. Threatening to contest the trust, claiming I was mentally incompetent, demanding financial records. Wilson handled it professionally. Case dismissed. Arizona law was clear about property rights and irrevocable trusts. A month after that, I heard through Jerry Martinez that Ryan and Ashley were getting divorced. Quick, quiet, no contest filing. They'd apparently agreed to split their assets 60-40, just like Nicole had overheard. The wedding gift money was part of those assets. $28,000 collected from my friends, my customers, people who'd known Ashley since childhood. Split between 2 strangers who'd never loved each other. I felt sick thinking about it, but I also felt free. 3 months later, I'm sitting in my garage on a Saturday morning, working on the Camaro. Coffee still hot, radio playing classic rock, tools organized exactly how I like them. The house is quiet except for the sounds I choose to make. Nicole calls sometimes. I let it go to voicemail, delete the messages without listening. Ashley sent a Christmas card last year, generic store-bought thing with her signature. I threw it away unopened. Marcus found a job, apparently. Heard through a mutual friend that he and Nicole got a small apartment across town. They're figuring it out without my money. Good for them. Ryan remarried 6 months after the divorce. Someone he'd been seeing before Ashley, according to the gossip. The auburn-haired woman from the photos, probably. Ashley moved to California, started over with a marketing firm in San Diego. Both of them gone. Both of them someone else's problem now. The trust is solid. My assets are protected. When I'm gone, most everything goes to the local technical college for automotive scholarships. Kids who want to learn real skills, build something with their hands. I've got customers who respect me, work that matters, and a house that's actually mine. Some evenings I sit on the back patio, looking at the desert sunset, drinking a beer in complete peace. Jerry Martinez stops by sometimes, brings his grandson who wants to learn about engines. Good kid, asks questions, listens to answers. Reminds me why I got into this business in the first place. To fix things, to build things, to teach people how things work. Michelle Brown called me a few months ago. Asked how I was doing, said she hoped she'd done the right thing. I told her she saved my life. Not dramatically, but literally. Saved me from spending the rest of my years being an ATM for people who saw dollar signs instead of a father. She laughed, said she was glad. We had coffee the next week, talked about photography and cars and life. Nice woman. Honest. Rare quality these days. Turns out being alone isn't the same as being lonely. And being family isn't the same as being loved. Took me 58 years to learn the difference, but better late than never. My phone's ringing now. Unknown number. I'm not answering. Whatever they're selling, whatever crisis they've invented, whatever emergency needs my wallet to solve it, they'll have to find someone else. I've got a Camaro to finish and a life to enjoy. Both of them are finally mine. The engine's coming along nicely. New carburetor, rebuilt transmission, paint job next month. Cherry red, just like my dad's first car. He'd have appreciated the work, the attention to detail, the satisfaction of making something run right. He taught me that honest work has its own reward. Wish it hadn't taken me 6 decades to understand what he meant. But I understand now. The garage is quiet except for the radio and the sound of my tools. No demands, no manipulation, no guilt trips about family obligations. Just me, my work, and the peace I bought with boundaries. Best money I ever spent was $12,000 to a lawyer who helped me take my life back, worth every penny. Sometimes the people closest to you see dollar signs where your heart should be, and protecting yourself isn't selfish, it's survival. Real family doesn't manipulate your love into their profit margin. Anyone who treats your generosity like an ATM withdrawal has already chosen money over relationship. The hardest lesson in life is learning that blood relation doesn't guarantee loyalty, but the most liberating lesson is realizing you don't owe anyone access to your peace. When you stop being an easy target for emotional manipulation, you discover who actually cares about you versus who just cares about what you can provide. Setting boundaries with toxic family members isn't about revenge, it's about refusing to fund your own emotional destruction while they build their comfortable lives on your sacrifice. True prosperity isn't measured by how much you can give away to ungrateful relatives, but by how much peace you can buy back with smart legal protection.